So we're here today with our second guest ever. Two. You could call him Chris. We call him Babyface.
Hello, everyone.
We'll tell you that story at some point in this conversation and how we know. It's a lot of years now.
Yeah.
It's a lot of years now.
Yeah.
Right?
I worked at Comic Book Jones. I started working there in 2011, but I hung out there for the first 4 years that it was open.
Right.
Right. So 2011 might have been around the time I started going there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you had a pull list. And then you didn't have a pull list.
All right.
And then
enough
you
with
had a
this.
pull list. Then you didn't have a pull list.
I was notorious for changing my poll list years ago.
But at least you'd be one that would just be like, all of it. Just remove all of it. Then we would just do the X.
Yeah.
As opposed to, let's just cross out titles.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one, though.
I want this.
The mini-series is almost over.
Brian's indecisive. If you remember our last interview, which was with Gore, Babyface is from the same place.
Yes, I am.
We know him from our time at Comic Book Jones.
Yeah.
And we have become friends. We have gone to conventions together. We've run into each other at conventions. Terrificon every single time. Unplanned.
Yep.
Every time.
We saw each other at New York Comic Con.
Well, my first Terrificon, I went with you.
Right, we
You
drove.
introduced me, and then I've loved it since.
And I will not be there this year. You'll be on your own.
Yes, as you've said. Man.
Maybe you can go this year without.
Yeah.
For the first time.
When is it?
It's in August.
Oh, yeah, it's usually July.
Yeah, and that's why it screwed me because he moved it to August. I was going to yell at him recently. We saw him at New York Comic Con. Brian would not allow me to go yell at him.
No, I said probably
We
wasn't
ran
a
into
good
him
idea.
twice, and I was like,
We don't
I'm
we
gonna
don't want
go
to
yell
distance
at him.
people.
I know. You know.
Yeah.
So we asked Chris to be on because he has been a friend of ours for a long time, and he has a really, really good comic and action figure collection. Chris collects Green Lantern, like I collect the Flash, and we often communicate with each other when we see something that the other would like. Like this morning when I sent you, last night, I sent you the
Oh, yeah, the Green Lantern Batman
Todd
figure.
McFarlane, yeah.
I actually
that's new,
describe
right?
you.
Yeah.
The new McFarlane one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with Green Lantern, and I actually describe you as the Flash to my Green Lantern
there you
because it goes on.
We
The
haven't
Flash
shown this
collection
yet.
goes
We
on.
haven't
Well,
shown
then
the
you'll
collection
see
yet.
it.
We will at some
Well,
point.
I'm just going to randomly reach for something just to illustrate Chris's point.
We can all just grab a Flash.
Yeah. So there's
No,
a
we
bunch of...
haven't, we've never shown really much of that.
Oh, you have to
Yeah.
just do the tour.
We're gonna at
Yeah.
some point. We're saving that
beautiful.
for later on. But just a funny fact: when me and Babyface first became friends, he's in my phone as Babyface, and he texts me, and my wife sees that, and she's like, "Who the hell is Why is a person named Baby?" I'm like, "No, it's."
You're like, oh, it's the R&B singer.
It's the guy from the comic book store. She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Look what he's texting me. It's nothing. It's nothing." So my wife was not happy when she saw a Babyface.
But that's not usually a woman's nickname, so
No, but
it'll just be like, it's still weird.
it's weird. It's weird that they all had. Like, it's funny when Gore was on, I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah,
Have never called him.
yeah.
Like you, I'll call by your first name.
Yeah.
Sometimes in wherever we are, but I still refer to you as Babyface. Gore, I never.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember his name right now either.
I just blanked
James.
on it.
James.
James,
Yeah.
yes,
I
James.
I call him Gore, and that's.
Well, it's funny because on my drive here, I was thinking of like, because there's been so many Jones names, but how many
Right.
of them last? It's like obviously Sacco, Gore, those
Gore.
names last. Waffles, basically his
Yeah,
name.
Yeah.
Tiger. I don't even know if Tiger still really lasts now. Like people from the store still will talk about him as
I ran
Tiger.
into him at a bar,
Yeah,
and I called him Tiger because I
yeah,
don't really know.
yeah.
Must have been strange for the people around you. You're like,
Yeah.
hey, Tiger.
Hey, Tiger. Yeah.
I've known him for over 20 years, so he's always just Tiger to me.
Tiger.
But like Babyface is one that still lasts.
And
Like
you got that before you worked there.
I've had it since 2003.
Okay.
Sacco used to DJ, and one night he was literally handing out Jones names. He would look at your face and just come up with a name. And for me, since I do look younger normally, it's just like Babyface. And I've had it for a long time. I've had it for 20 years.
I have one too.
Yeah.
You do?
I do.
You have a Jones name?
I do.
Oh.
I'm Quad Cheeks.
What?
Quad Cheeks.
That sounds
Quad
perverted.
cheeks? Oh, right.
Quad Cheeks.
Yes.
That's how do you say that without laughing?
I think I remember the story
Towards the end.
behind that.
Quad Cheeks.
Quad cheeks.
Yo, Quad
Yo,
Cheeks.
Quad Cheeks. Oh, there you go. My nickname. So Chris brought some stuff to show off from his collection. He couldn't bring everything.
Let's see it. Let's get into it.
I have over 19,000 comics. I have too
Wow.
many comics.
And also, just so you know, before we get any further, he is the guru of comic creator autographs.
I like that. I like that. I like that you actually pop up because
post it every time you post something.
in Facebook groups, I will respond to people's questions when it comes to pricing or just like whose signature is this?
How much an artist costs, or whose signature it is, or what they'll sign, and Chris will respond, and I will immediately respond after.
The guru.
That's all I write. I don't write anything else.
I will always think of the guy who made the post of like, I don't know who these guys are. Having a side conversation.
The guru strikes again. That's what it
I do my homework.
You're the comic creator whisperer.
Yeah.
No, you had a whole list.
I mean, I probably have more signatures than like anyone you know.
Oh, most certainly.
Yeah.
Because you're
I could definitely
still
say you
doing it. We did it together for a while. I stopped because of the charging. I just can't.
It is really hard.
I can't go pay a fortune.
Yeah, it's hard.
Because even at the last convention that I went to, that Super Jersey Comic Expo, which was fantastic, everyone there was charging. I was surprised. So it is what it is. What are you going to do?
Especially comics keep going up. I actually picked up 6 weeks of comics yesterday. First time picking up comics since I think a week before New York Comic Con.
Okay.
And the amount of money I spent made me want to cry. And also, my OCD, to be nice to whoever's ringing me up, I will separate like $3.99, $4.99, so on. The $4.99 stack was like yay, and the $3.99 was like, it's like I don't know what to do.
What are you spending? What are you spending a month?
Pretty standard.
I mean, a week.
A week?
What are you pulling a week? Spending a week?
I mean, hopefully family is not watching, but at least $100
See,
at that point.
I can't hide it anymore because my wife picks them up.
Yeah.
She's right there. I'm about 75, 80 a week.
Yeah. After yesterday, it's like I really have to like reevaluate what I buy because
I say it all the time, and then something new comes out, and Brian makes fun of me for the $10 thing.
Yeah.
He always refers back to that.
Yeah.
Oh
The
yeah,
$10
that was
thing,
amazing. Because you didn't work the math out.
No,
that was really funny because you were like, "Oh, guess what? I've gotten my 100th $5 coupon for spending $100."
Right.
So I was like, "Okay, so you've gotten $100 $5 for spending $100 for each of those $5." And I was like, "You realize that's $10,000?"
I didn't realize that.
The pain. The pain.
You could have financed an independent film.
I could. Or ramp up the equipment on our YouTube channel, but then what would we talk about?
Then we would
My infinite knowledge of nonsense. Wouldn't
Well, yeah, it'll be like, you know what? I like comics. I can't afford to read
them.
them.
I can really afford to buy them, but
It's funny. I was just saying how you have to like your completers and how you are so anal about it. I was looking through that Flash #1 that just came out, and I didn't buy the one at New York Comic Con.
Okay.
The foil one.
Yeah.
I know you bought the Green Lantern.
I did buy the Green Lantern New York Comic Con foil, which was $30.
Right.
Did not want to spend that.
So, and I didn't want to spend it. I bought it.
Yeah.
Online. I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't, because I was actually organizing, and I had all of them. There was 2 foils. I didn't buy either of the foils. I went online and bought both foils.
Well, Green Lantern for #1, besides the New York Comic Con, there was a pack of 8 for all of the colors.
Really?
I bought all of those.
And that you bought those at New York Comic Con?
No, I just ordered those online when
How
they
much
first.
was that?
Over 200.
Oof.
I
Yeah.
saved the 30
That's what we've complained for years about. Just the variant. We buy variant comes only Flash, Green Lantern, and it's just.
I mean, I'll buy variants to things I like, but you know,
something.
whereas you're a Flash completionist, I'm a Green Lantern,
Has to do all
and
of them.
like right now, DC's doing 5 covers to
I know.
every book.
I know.
So you'll have the regular price, then 2 variants that are $1 more.
$1 more.
You'll have the 1 in 10 or 1 in
$14.99.
5 or 1 in 15, the 125, the 1 in 50.
35.
Like after this purchase for like the 2 Green Lantern titles, I have to like cut off the higher ratios.
And that's the higher ratios are harder ones to get. And I'm the only one getting them there. So they'll get it.
Are you doing what he's doing with the Flash, where you're buying every appearance of the character?
Yeah.
Okay.
Except I have a lot of Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
Like our biggest difference probably of the last several years was the Justice League movie.
Yeah.
I joke about that. I'm like, honestly, I'm sad that Green Lantern wasn't in that, but not for merchandise reasonings.
Yeah. Oh my
I'm
God,
so
right.
happy Green Lantern wasn't in the
Like, I'm
movie
still looking
for
some
all
of the
this type
some
of
the
stuff.
movie cups,
Well,
the cups from the theaters and stuff, I'm still looking for those. I
So-
can't find them at a right price.
Don't the Green Lanterns show up in one of the scenes in the?
But they're
Snyder
not in any
cut?
of the.
Yeah.
But there's no
There's no
merchandise.
merchandise.
There's
Yeah,
no merchandise.
Yeah.
There's no merchandise, and that's when the merchandise sometimes from a movie it's the hardest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because there's some high for the Flash and the Flash movie. There's some high level statues. I can't spend $1,500 on. And
No.
we saw it in New York Comic Con, those masks. Did you
Yeah.
see the?
Those are incredible.
Well, I mean, when it comes to statues, like I don't do any like sideshow Green Lantern statues, anything like that. I don't have room for it anyway, and that's a lot of money.
Sideshows are expensive.
But the thing that I rationalize, I've gotten worse when it comes to like figures, like Green Lantern. Like I'll buy Green Lantern pops or now McFarlane figures. But when I worked at Comic Book Jones, I had a rule. It was probably because I was broke of not collecting action figures.
Right.
Years into working there and being around toys and everything every day, it was just like, yeah, I'll buy all this stuff, even comics. I actually collected so much less before I worked there because of
Yeah,
you
but
know.
you got a discount too, so it
Yeah.
helped a little bit.
Yes, especially the pricing of comics back then, because the price it's weird. I left Comic Book Jones the end of 2017, beginning of 2018,
Right.
and in these last 5 years, the entire comic book like realm has changed.
Oh,
The
yeah.
community, everything,
The pricing is just
pricing, grading, just the way people think of comics, everything has changed.
But now it's on a downcline right now too. The prices
yeah.
of back issues are going down right now.
Yeah.
Big number ones are
Well, because we
declining.
passed the COVID years where people had the disposable
Right.
income. Now everything's catching up to all of
Yeah.
us, and
and the movies just aren't doing
yeah,
what they
the
did.
the belief in the Marvel movies and so on is not the same.
It's not.
Right now, though, DC will, I feel, start building up with people wanting like first appearances.
I've been seeing that. Have
Yeah.
I not been saying that
Yeah.
we see a shift in the dollar bins, and the dollar bins now carry a lot more Marvel
Yeah,
than DC, and DC is getting a lot more of the wall space
Yeah.
when we go to
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I think that's sort of in anticipation of James Gunn.
Yeah,
Doing
of course.
the new stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So buy those first appearances now before they go
Get him now.
crazy prices.
Which
Or
makes
Chad does.
A few years ago, I think it might have been Terrificon. It was one of the conventions that we go to. But I remember, because we always haggle, you try to see what's the lowest price someone can go. And me, I go for DC more than Marvel. So the books I wanted were DC. And the guy literally said, they're DC books. Those don't move as much. Yeah, I'll work on a price with you.
And that would be
Right.
today.
And now it's going to, it feels
100%.
like it's,
It's gonna
obviously Golden Age, like we're not getting the first Batman, the
No.
first Green Arrow, the first Superman, and Wonder Woman.
shift. Well, if our channel gets big, that's what we're buying.
Let's hope
No,
so.
you still have
First
to get,
Fantastic
I
Four.
was saying you still have to get
First
Fantastic
Four
Four
number one is our first purchase.
Okay,
Hour,
My first.
I love that.
not hour.
My first. The channel's first purchase.
You switch every other month. It's like, all right, it's the
Channel.
first of the month. Here you
First.
go.
Brian insists that I'm going to finish the Fantastic Four run
You're gonna.
from this channel.
I have, like I
'Cause
said,
it's- I mean, you know that this
don't
Yeah.
you? Can't you
This
imagine
game is in
like
there.
Chad at an auction, like he's wearing the jersey, but
Yeah.
everyone else is in tuxedos, and he's like, 250,000.
So you don't have that.
I'm an influencer. So what'd you bring? What do you got?
Okay.
'Cause we could chat all day.
yes.
We really could.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously, I said earlier I have 19,000 comics.
Here now, so
Yeah. So,
10,000.
and this is basically adult show and tell.
yeah, that's kind of what this is. Yeah,
This is expensive.
That's
So
what our subscribers like to
Yeah.
see.
So there's not a full order. So I am just going to take stuff out and we will talk.
yeah.
So,
So you're randomly going to pull. He has a bag
Okay.
filled with probably about 40 or 50.
I'm going to start with this stack first.
Oh, I like sketch covers.
So I love sketch covers.
Yes, you
I
do
just-
that a lot.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't do that.
one of my favorite things. When I was still at Comic Book Jones, when Grant Morrison's Green Lantern 1 came out, which I don't even have any of them really here. And any Green Lantern blanks I would buy in surplus. I bought like 40 or 50
Right.
plus of like one blank. As a chunk of money, but I knew it's going to take years and I would love. Another thing I love, because I could see this in the first book I'm holding, is being a fan of an artist before they explode even more.
You're not paying as much for them either.
Yeah, or just to get them.
A
So,
nice discount on it.
so this is the first thing I'm showing. That is a Warren Lowe sketch of Poison Ivy, which he's
Great sketch.
super popular for varying covers. His first work for DC was Power Girl. but I actually have a beautiful Poison Ivy sketch from him.
And when did you get that? How long ago?
I think that was 2018. The one time he was at New York Comic Con, which is funny because at first I asked for Catwoman. I asked for Catwoman on the very first day. I was the first person to go to him. And I was there all 4 days, and he didn't have it done until it was like lights out on the 4th day.
Wow.
But at one point, he actually did a Catwoman, but not on my sketch cover. He like just drew a Catwoman, like.
So how did it end up with Poison Ivy?
Because since he didn't do it on my blank, I was like, I kind of wanted it on my blank, and I saw the Catwoman, and then just thought, you know what, I'd rather have a Poison Ivy, and I'm actually so happy I switched it.
He drew her like Rita Hayworth.
Yeah.
It was a great.
Is that what you think? Rita
Yeah,
Hayworth?
I think it looks like Rita Hayworth.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really good sketch.
Great, too.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a 2-for picture. Let's see, we hold it this way. So these are both from Doug Mahnke, who so many DC titles, but at the time he was working on Green Lantern with Jeff Johns before Rebirth. Before the New 52 and then during the New 52. Super, super, super nice guy. And at the time he just, because he didn't do a New York Comic Con in years, he his prices were insane for these. So that's how I ended up with 2 sketches. And I don't even know if it's intentional, the fact that they're facing each other.
Got this. Yeah,
It's
nice.
perfect.
Yeah, that's really good.
Really good. That's cool.
Yeah. And he is the person I've brought the most comics to ever to get signed.
Okay.
He's the only person I brought a run for. I actually brought like 52 issues of Green Lantern
When he was
for
free
him.
or when he was
When he
trying-
was free. Yeah, he had a little bit of a line. I'm like, take your time. If people come up, take care of them and sign what you can. And, he did the whole thing. I've never done that before.
Or since probably.
Yeah, no, not at all. Now it's like, I'll do my homework. I'll start taking books out. And like, usually most people now I choose like 4 books tops.
Okay.
But it's like 1s and 2s now, especially with people charging. This is another one that it was just the right time because he's blown up. He's done work then, David Nakayama, but I have a Hal Jordan from David Nakayama. Now he does so many variant
The inks
covers.
and the colors on it.
Yeah,
What did this cost you? You remember?
$80.
That's fantastic.
Which now,
fantastic for $80.
a few years ago, I asked if he still does busts, and he was like, I only want to do full images.
And what does he charge for that now?
Probably hundreds. Or now he's signed with Unknown at conventions, so he's just signing. He's not even drawing. Like, I don't think you can catch him at the convention sitting there drawing.
That's the changes in price.
So in general, blanks, I think now I have like 80 blanks with art on them. So this is just a handful of some of my favorites. This is a Mike Chrome Star Sapphire. I got at Baltimore the first time I met him. That was probably like 2018 also.
Baltimore's a great convention. Great comic convention. We
Now,
should go to that.
this blank is the furthest I've ever driven for a convention.
North Carolina.
I went to Heroes Con in 2018 because Daryl Banks I never met.
Where's Heroes Con again?
North Carolina.
Charlotte.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Which, if you ever have the chance to go, Heroes Con is amazing.
Right.
Like-
Is that Parallax?
It's Kylax.
Kylax. Okay.
So it's Kyle Rayner as Parallax,
Nice.
but I specifically asked as Kylax because there's one issue of the Ron Morris Daryl Banks Green Lantern run where Kyle's at his desk drawing and he draws himself as Parallax just for fun, and he calls himself Kylax.
So
Nice.
the character never appears in the comic.
I
There's no
mean,
Kylax. He just drew himself as.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really.
but I mean, then much later on, like during the Jeff Johns run during Sinestro Corps War, he does become Parallax, but it's a different costume.
Right. That's fantastic.
That's cool.
The last one of the Green Lanterns. This is 2-sided. This is from Baltimore, probably 2017.
That's beautiful.
Stefan Rowe. I got super lucky with this. This was the first year that somebody pulled the fire alarm at Baltimore.
Oh, we were there.
Yeah.
We were there.
And so everybody left, and there
Yeah.
was still like an hour left of the show, but most people didn't go back. And he had my blank, and I originally asked for a head sketch, and he, I was only there for the one day, and he said that he's not going to return. He'll do it for me. Months passed because Baltimore's
Right.
September. But around December, I see on Instagram that he is working on a Jessica Cruz. And so I messaged like, hey, like, is that mine? And I saw color too.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. He's like, I was just having a lot of fun with it. Like, it was
Yeah,
around
great.
Christmas time.
Give
That's
you a great.
beautiful.
And he was like, Merry Christmas. The
That
fact,
is
like,
so
he did it
great.
like as an extra Christmas gift,
That's nice.
and like I paid for a head sketch.
That
like,
is
and
You
I
got this
so
whole entire
good.
thing.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
insane. Another one that just, prices has gone up. He's gotten more popular. I have a domino from Mark Brooks, she's one of my favorite ex
I
ladies.
like her too.
He was
Yeah.
$10 an autograph at the last
Yeah,
convention.
She had a great solo series.
she did. It was so much fun.
When was that? Maybe 5-6 years ago.
The last one, the Gail Simone run.
That's the one.
Yeah, that was
About
great.
5 years ago, right?
Yeah, something like that.
That was a great series.
He's the one that's doing the corner box covers for Marvel right now.
Oh yeah, the one you
Yes.
were talking about. Yeah.
It was funny with this one though, because they ask you too if you want to pay extra for color, and I just looked at the handler and like laughed. I'm like, I chose domino. I don't need color.
Yeah, I do have the
I was like, because of character
Yes.
choice, I saved myself 50 to 100 bucks.
Right.
Because given the option, anyone else, you'd be like, you know what? Yeah, I'll do
Yeah, of
color.
course, yeah.
Color Cyclops for me.
So this is the last sketch that I brought with me. Terry Moore is one of my favorite creators,
Great comic,
Strangers in
Strangers in
Paradise.
Yeah.
And I asked to have Francine and Kachu dressed as Green Lanterns.
That's a
It's a
great
great,
series.
Yeah.
I love that series. Yeah.
it's a great sketch. Too.
I haven't read it,
Yeah.
honestly.
Oh, you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have
I
to
read
finish that.
Like 4 or 5 issues here or there. It's really well done.
Anything he does, I'll collect everything.
Mhm.
But the funny thing too with this is he doesn't really sketch at shows.
Right.
But I was out of Baltimore. I'm like, I'm going to be at a New York Comic Con.
Mhm.
Would I be able to like get a sketch from you? Because then you have a couple weeks.
Right.
And he's like, I don't know. You have to ask the boss because his wife is like his manager. And like as he's talking, she's just like shaking her head yes, and she's like, "Who do you want?" I was just like, perfect.
That's great. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Too.
Two things that you love over.
Yes.
Baltimore's a really good convention.
Yeah.
So good.
I'd really like to go.
I would have liked to have gone this year, but it was so close to New York.
That's the problem. That's always been the problem. We said that years ago.
Yeah,
But we do it in the day. So you drive in 3 hours
Yeah.
down there, 3 hours back.
yeah.
It's a long day.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a long day.
Right at the beginning of school.
Well, the last time I went to Baltimore, I actually did get a hotel. I only went one
I would
day.
say I would probably get a hotel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're going to Boston this year
Okay, cool.
because we can't go to Terrificon. So the family's going to all go to Boston.
Okay, so at least you'll have
Spend
a
the
comic
weekend in
show.
Boston, and we haven't been there in a long time. We went there years ago and just go around.
It's funny though, because we all love conventions. So like, now that we're in like the off season, it's
Yeah.
like you do get the itch.
I'm
Like,
going.
you-
Yeah,
you
you're
just
like,
like
I'm
you
going
want.
this weekend.
You're
Yeah.
going somewhere, right?
Yeah, Geek Flea is this weekend.
Oh, see. So,
Yeah,
There's
I heard
actually
of
2
that.
this weekend.
so I guess we're all going.
he
I
can't
can't.
go.
I got to go family thing.
We're going.
Family.
There was 2. There's Geek Flea and there's another one this weekend, a little bit further. It's like an hour and a half away. So I, passed on that.
Okay.
It's just a little too far.
So these I think are just cool, and these are from this past New York Comic Con. So Ghost Machine was announced as a new off-print from Image Comics at this past New York Comic Con, spearheaded by Jeff Johns with a great cast of creators: Brad Meltzer, Jason Fabok, Gary Frank. And it's funny because Jeff Johns is my favorite comic book writer, and he was the one name this year because I had a list of like 100 people that I wanted to talk to, meet, have sign. But Jeff Johns was like, I've met him before, but I'm probably not going to get him. And my entire Friday became like Jeff Johns Day.
Right. You went all 4 days?
3.
3.
I didn't go Sunday this year.
It was an ash can.
Yeah.
Brian almost died from 1 day. So.
Wow.
It almost killed me.
But so one of these was for attending the panel. The other one was buying stuff at their merch table. And then they had a massive poster too that they were giving away. I had that sign too.
This is Jason Fabok illustration.
hmm
What are they selling these for now?
I have no idea.
Because it was
But-
only from New York Comic Con, right? The
Yeah.
ash can?
Oh, that's a good one.
And there's 4 different ash cans. I do have all 4 of them.
Nice.
But these are signed. They're missing Brad Meltzer because he was only there, I think, the first day and then left. But also too, like any of these people, if they signed like this, even if they charged, this was free. The poster was free. At their booth, they signed some extra stuff. So it was magical
Cool.
to just
That's
get
a
these
lot.
people.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And
Yeah.
all free. So you didn't have to pay for these signatures.
Yeah, and they announced a whole bunch of new books like this one. Jason Fabok and Jeff Johns are doing Rook Exodus.
When does that come out? Do you know?
Some point next year.
Okay.
I think spring. But just the art for this looks incredible. It's Fabok.
And his image.
And it's
Which is cool.
Yeah.
They
What they're
do some
doing
interesting
lately.
stuff, you know.
Absolutely. This is another favorite of mine.
Are you reading this?
No, but I like Rick Remender a lot. That is Remender, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't
I'm right on
isn't
that. Okay.
Deadly Class the geekery? They recommended Deadly Class.
He mentioned it, yeah, at one point I think. I'm really enjoying his new series, Sacrificers.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's really
I love
good.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, West Craig.
And he has another new one, The High Roller, next
I
week.
haven't read that yet.
Andy Samberg is the
Oh,
co-writer.
Oh yes, I
Oh,
saw
really?
that.
Yeah.
The bowling superhero.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that looks fun.
But Remender also just signed a 3-year deal with Image, so he's strictly going to be Image. He announced some new books at New York Comic Con.
Well,
But
he has his own imprint. It's called something Giant, right?
Giant Generator.
Giant Generator.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But Deadly Class is one of my all-time favorite comics, non-superhero comics. But this specifically, when they were announcing the TV show, the majority of the main cast was there. So not only does this have,
That's New York Comic Con also.
yeah, this is 2018, I believe, as well. 2017 and 18 were amazing for me. But I got the creative team, and like this is Benedict Wong, who plays Wong in the MCU. Maria DeFaria, who just got announced yesterday for Superman Legacy. She's going to be
Lois Lane?
no, she's going to be the engineer.
Yeah, the
She's-
engineer from the Authority.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh,
The
okay.
characters in
Oh,
Superman
that's gonna be
Legacy.
Superman
Yeah.
Legacy.
Yeah.
So she was Maria in the Deadly Class TV show, so I met her. She was the sweetest. So like I knew I had to bring this just to like show that off, like the timing.
She's going to be Angelica Spica version of the engineer.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would make sense. Okay, I see what's in the front of my
pretty sure I saw
bag.
that picture.
Okay, this is a nice.
Yeah, I forgot to
This
mention
is a
that.
nice
The
batch.
engineer from the Authority is going to
Gonna
be
be
in
in there.
Superman
So is
Legacy.
the whole Authority going to be in it? You would assume so.
I don't know.
Well, they did announce Stormwatch, like in the
This is
future.
his big
Oh,
book
okay.
now.
So there is going to be
Here comes some
Stormwatch.
heavy hitters right now. I see what he's pulling
Yes.
out of
Oh, these are. Oh boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
First appearance of the Atom. This is the Ray Palmer one, the Silver Age first appearance.
Nice.
That's one of my favorite comic book covers, just ever.
there. Showcase again.
Yeah.
We've talked about many times how
Sure.
they don't have their own title. They
try
get
him
in
out
one
in
of these other
anthologies.
ones.
Yeah.
Anthology, and if he works, he gets his own title. He never really had a long-running title though.
Is
No.
that the same? That was the same showcase series that premiered The Flash.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yep.
This is issue what? 34.
34, yeah.
And so
Flash first appears in 4.
4.
Yeah, and Showcase 4 is the first Silver Age comic.
Yep.
So 30 issues later, which when you think of like early Showcase, and how many characters were
A
introduced.
lot of
Oh,
characters.
the Silver Age Spectre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Martian Manhunter.
No,
he was in something else.
Martian
David
Manhunter's
Bold?
first appearance is with Aquaman. No, is it with Aquaman or Green
It's a
Arrow?
backup story in one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you have
It's earlier than The Flash.
yes, yeah, that's
Green
like
Lantern.
that's one of the hardest characters to get. His first
Green
appearance,
Lantern is what?
Showcase 22.
Showcase 22.
Yeah, which we'll get to.
Oh, I know you have it. Yeah, he's.
So this is cool, even though it's the 90s Daredevil #1. It's signed by all 3 people who are listed on that book. I actually got Kevin Smith on it a few months ago.
Nice.
But I
Where'd you
do.
get Kevin Smith.
He was at the Trenton Flea Market,
Nice.
and then Jimmy
Free,
Palmiotti.
or was he charging?
He was charging. And I have Joe Quesada on it. I have all 3.
Nice.
See, I'm showing. I was going towards the end with paint pens because they look so much. They pop so much better.
The thing
White
with paint pens is
they bleed.
you can totally screw it up.
I know.
Mid-conversation, destroy.
I know.
Yeah, just
But they
leak all
look
over.
so good. Paint
They
pens,
do.
man.
Speaking of paint pens, actually,
Yeah. See how nice the paint pen looks.
that is signed by Patrick Wilson, the actor. He played Orm in
Oh, yeah.
Aquaman.
And he was Night Owl in The Watchmen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd,
he
you,
was
where'd
in-
you get him?
He was at Eastside Mags years ago. He actually lives in Jersey.
It's a
So,
nice cover too.
yeah.
I
So
see.
the paint pen actually looks
Looks sweet.
fantastic on it.
Looks fantastic. It was on Acme with the blue paint. It
Yeah.
looks fantastic on there.
And I don't even care if it has my name on it.
No, it
That's
looks
not going
fantastic.
anywhere.
That looks great. And to me, it pops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just rubbing it in with this one.
So my number one rule when I get books signed is I want, if you ever worked on anything Green Lantern related, that's the first thing I want.
Right.
So the first time I ever met Todd McFarlane, I had him sign this annual of Infinity Inc. because he did do the art. And it does have Alan Scott, Jade, and Obsidian.
Way back then.
Don't believe that started at that
Yeah.
point, saying that he brought this because we had a contest to see who could complete Infinity Inc. first.
This is true.
And
he,
you won.
He won.
I won.
He won. I was down to 2, and Chris finished it.
Though I need the issue that I needed was the hardest one. I think it was number 14.
Mine was not. Mine was just a random issue that I couldn't find anywhere.
Like,
no one had
yeah,
it.
most of the issues were dollar bit issues, but number 14 is the first Todd McFarlane DC book.
So,
It's like, damn it.
Yeah, Todd McFarlane starts his DC run with Infinity Inc.
Yeah, and that would have been before Batman Year 2.
Yeah.
This is his first comics. His first big comic.
Yeah, that he actually like did
was
the internal
Infinity
art.
Inc. And the whole entire run is like really dollar books, and then his continue to go up.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Especially when Spawn, 300 was coming out, and then more people are talking about him.
Yeah.
People didn't
It's
realize
just
he
like-
drew
Yeah.
that.
No.
It's like, oh, cool, you did Infinity
you did
Inc.
Infinity Inc. No one's reading it.
I do have him on a Spawn 1 and 2 issues of Amazing Spider-Man, but this was the first book I had him signed.
That's
So I don't have her actual first appearance, so this is a nice consolation prize.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the first printing, beautiful cover, and it's the first appearance of Harley in DC continuity.
Nice. And an Alex Ross cover.
Yeah,
yeah,
Great stuff.
Beautiful.
it's so pretty.
Yep.
I'm proud of you that you picked that up, right?
It's hard to find the first print, and you have to have them. They either have to have it marked, or you have to open the book.
To see if it's first print.
Yeah.
How many prints of that are there?
Well, at least 4.
And they all look the same. No differences.
The cover's
No,
the same.
that's-
Back then,
that's-
they never altered
that's
anything.
Yeah.
It was all just inside.
You know, on a side note, I'm really reading more and more of the stuff he writes, and I really like it. Paul Dini,
Did you read the original graphic novel he did years ago? The
Dark Knight.
Yes.
Yes, great.
About his life.
Great about when he was mugged.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's
And
a
that-
really great graphic novel.
That was like the last thing that he did.
Yeah, that was great.
I actually read an early copy of that book,
Yeah?
so I don't know if it changes.
Oh, you should check it out.
Yeah.
It's a great book.
Yeah, I was at years ago. I was at a DC Roadshow, hosted by Dan Didio and Jim Lee. I was with Sacco, and they gave away just a free early copy of it. Like, it wasn't a hardcover; it was just a normal trade.
Yeah.
It even says like advanced copy, so I
Nice.
just don't know.
You
Oh.
never read the actual one?
Yeah,
That's a great book.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a hard person to get.
Yeah.
I think he just did a CGC signing, and like that's it. You probably can't get him again. You know what that is, right?
Heavy hitters.
That is a big deal.
So the cover gives you nothing.
And it's
First appearance is Zatanna.
Yeah.
in Hawkman 4.
Yep. Which I love. I love first appearances that are just in
Random.
somebody
Randomly
else's book.
planted.
Random,
Yeah.
like not like
Yeah.
why should she even be? Is it a backup story or she's in the Hawkman story? She's in her
I
own story.
think so.
Yeah.
But then like her second appearance is in an issue of Adam and Hawkman, because Adam became Adam and Hawkman, and then Justice League. It was like a bouncing story. But yeah, like, and nobody goes after like
No,
old
no
Hawkman
one.
issues. You just want Hawkman 4.
Yeah. It's signed by some guy.
Yeah, it's probably the owner.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's my comic.
This is mine.
Oh, here we go.
I'll throw in a Marvel book. So I love the X-Men, I love Spider-Man, I love Daredevil. I did want the entire Rob Liefeld run of New Mutants, which I do have. But the funny thing is, I do like Deadpool, but I love Domino, so it's like, I need this issue more so
for
for
Domino.
her than
Yeah.
It's all first appearance, right?
yes and no. So it's her first visual appearance, but it's technically copycat in that issue, pretending to be Domino. But
What's her first appearance?
New Mutants 8, technically, like, where it's like revealed that it's not actually her.
You bought this not newsstand, right? Not when you bought it.
No. Yeah, no, I'm not as
I have
cool as
mine
you.
I have mine from the newsstand.
But the fact
I
that
bought it when it first came out.
this is signed by Fabian Nicieza and Rob
And Rob
Liefeld.
Liefeld.
Nice.
Yeah, so I don't have to wait in line for Rob. I have him on that.
His prices are crazy too now.
Now I don't know
This
which.
one's great.
I don't know which to show next. Here, you can take that one.
Aquaman 11. What's the significance?
First appearance of Mira.
Nice.
Not to be confused with Amber Heard.
Not the first movie.
Did you see the way the editors contorted those trailers to make sure we don't see her?
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Which stinks.
She's
I
gonna be
actually,
in it, though,
Oh,
right?
she's in it. Yeah.
I liked her in the first movie. If anything, you could have
Yeah,
just
it's-
tried to find a way to refilm and throw Dolphin in it. Like,
Which is
Dolphin's a
character
great
you like,
character.
right?
Yeah.
I just leave her in it. I don't understand. Like,
Yeah.
who cares what happened
cares?
outside the movie?
Yeah.
All actors have done bad things.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller still got his Flash movie, and
Yep.
I don't know how that.
he did way worse than she did.
Yeah,
And people watched it.
And people watched it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I watched it.
I didn't say I liked it. I watched it.
Honestly, it wasn't as bad as I thought.
I was not happy.
I mean, the
effects
special effects
were
were
awful.
terrible. but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awful.
They really
Story-wise,
were.
it wasn't as bad
That
as I
wasn't
thought.
that bad. Just the special effects made it so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Got
wish
nothing to
I-
do for 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's not such a-
I wish it was better.
Yeah.
I really do. But at that point, you can have this now.
Oh my God, that's a great one.
First Batgirl.
Oh my God. Oh, and you got it at Zap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He buys a lot of his comics like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Aye.
that's a nice
Yeah.
comic,
That's definitely a book that I didn't expect to
too. That
own.
was very- yeah.
Now, I know that that version of Batgirl premieres in the TV show first, right? Or did they put her in the comic first and then put her in the TV show?
I'm not for Barbara. I'm not sure. I
I-
think you might actually be right.
I think
Well, what year is this one from? 359 would be when about?
I don't know, but I think she shows in the TV show first. Then they put her into the comics a few minutes later. They had already always planned to put
Yeah.
her in the comics.
But there was a different Batgirl. She's this.
well, there was a Batwoman. before
There was a
that.
Batwoman,
Batgirl
the Golden
as
Age.
this
Yeah.
Batgirl
Yeah,
is
Kathy
the
Kane
first.
precedes Barbara Gordon.
Yeah.
Yes, but she was a whole other character.
Yeah. And she was Batwoman.
So this would have to be what? 69.
Something like that.
Because she appears in
She appears
Batman
in
in 69.
60.
69. Because the series starts in 66. It goes 3 seasons. The
To
third
68.
season is 68.
Yeah.
Because we just did a whole video on
Yeah.
the villains.
Okay.
Right.
All the villains from Batman
the
and
show.
TV. There's only
Yeah.
30 villains that appear in that
Yeah.
show.
I like that. You know.
She comes in.
I might be wrong. She shows up in the third season.
She shows up in the third season, and a lot of the villains are curtailed to her,
Right.
leading you to believe that there's going to be a spin-off of her.
Right.
Like the last,
Oh,
like,
that would've been
four
cool.
or
The third
five,
season was almost like a soft
yeah,
pilot
the last 4
for
or
a
5
Batgirl show.
episodes are all female
Okay.
villains that you've never heard of, like not from the comic books.
Okay.
And they're very like female-centric. Like one is a
Like Joan Collins.
Joan Collins,
Okay.
Zsa Zsa Gabor. So and she's fighting them more than they are.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Arrow, where at the end you had the female Arrow
Yes.
that you could tell they were
Yes,
trying to
they were
pilot
trying
it.
to pilot- You,
Yes.
could, you could tell they were trying to repackage her for her own show. We all know it never happened.
Yeah, but that
That's-
would have been cool.
It would have been
See.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see where it's going.
Yeah. Well, speaking of villains,
One who never appeared in the show.
which is
Who
crazy.
could have. We never mentioned that because
Yeah.
we said Two-Face. We said Two-Face should have been there. We should never mention that.
I
Poison Ivy could definitely have been played by one of those celebrities.
Poison Ivy would have made more sense for the TV show.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Two-Face is a little too dark for
Because
that show.
in the TV show, we only get one female villain that's from the comics.
Weird.
Catwoman. The only
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
All the other ones
Yeah.
are made specifically for the show, and there's some really awfully terrible ones. But she would have been perfect. And there's
Yeah.
actresses that could have played that.
100%.
Lucille Ball.
Lucille Ball. Yeah. I would have gone.
Raquel Welch.
Okay,
Anne Margaret.
here's one more.
And Margaret.
Before I get into Green Lantern. So that is my earliest Amazing Spider-Man issue. It is the first appearance of Gwen Stacy and Harry Osborn.
Wow.
I am working kind of on Amazing Spider-Man on Uncanny
Both?
X-Men. Yeah, it's not
You're
gonna
Joeing
happen.
it? You're doing like Joe?
I'm-
Joe finished both.
I'm doing like bursts of 50. So I think like right now I'm up to 200 to 250. I'm finishing that
It's
gap.
got the Marvel pop
Yeah.
art
Yeah.
price box.
Joe finished both, right? Joe finished
Yeah,
both
he
the
did.
X-Men
He
run
did.
and the
I
X-Men,
don't know
I'm
about
not
X-Men,
sure.
I think he
actually.
did.
He definitely finished
He
Spider-Man.
definitely finished Spider-Man. I know that.
Spider-Man, he actually finished. I know it's weird that I know this. Joe finished. He got Amazing Fantasy 15, 2015.
At New York Comic Con.
Yes, I know the year. because it's very significant for me for the next book. So I'm going to show you these two first. These are reprints. But the first one's cool because it's signed by Joe Gaiella, who was the original inker in so many Silver
He
Age.
made a lot of appearances.
Yeah.
Reprints.
Yeah, we were lucky. He was at so many
I got him
shows.
on a couple of Flash ones.
Yeah, he passed away like a year or two ago. But to have him on that, because obviously,
On that, you don't want him on the real one.
yeah, if you have the real one, you don't want someone
want
to
someone
sign the
signing it.
real one.
Yeah.
But speaking of the real one,
That's a book.
so
That's
Showcase
First
22.
appearance of it.
Silver Age Green Lantern.
And this is the reason why I know that Joe finished his Spider-Man run in 2015, because we both got our grails at the same time.
Was that you mind if I just
Yeah, of course.
take a look? It doesn't have a writer on the cover though, right?
No.
It probably doesn't even have the right listed inside.
It probably doesn't. But I was thinking it was Gardner Fox, right? Gardner Fox wrote these?
It's Gil Kane and John Broom. No. Bill
know.
Finger and Gil Kane did the work.
Mhm.
Is it Gardner Fox? Because Gardner Fox was Flash.
Oh, I know.
Or we could do this.
John Broom.
Yeah, it is John
Gil
Broom.
Kane,
Okay.
and Joe Gale.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's perfect. Let's see.
Perfect, yes, yeah,
That I
that's
brought
why
the
I can open
reprints.
that. I wouldn't open this
Yeah.
one.
Imagine he just pops
Yeah.
that open. You're like,
It's what are you doing? I haven't opened that in 8 years.
He's holding the cover back. You look, you know.
The question is, which one of these is Chris not leaving with? It's like, wait a second.
Right?
Where's
I brought too many comics
where's
with
my
me to
first appearance
remember.
of Batgirl?
So to finish it off, here's Showcase 23 and 24, making the first 3 appearances of Hal Jordan.
Same thing that they did with the Flash.
Except the Flash had 4 Showcase issues, and then Flash 105.
The colors and image on this one
Mm-hmm.
is the most Silver Age thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like the nuclear threat, the
It's all
just
science.
zany
The
sci-fi.
Atoms on his
it's fantastic. That is
Ooh,
the
even
most.
this one too.
Yeah.
Fighting a giant
Big
alien.
Mhm.
Well, I mean,
thing.
but besides like them introducing the sci-fi element to all these characters, like obviously the Flash and Green Lantern, Hal Jordan's totally like a response to the Cold War.
Oh yeah.
And like you can obviously see, especially the first issue is just a missile.
Yeah.
You just have him with a missile.
Fighting him.
Right, he's fighting
Yeah.
a missile.
Or Superman's key that we saw.
No, the
video
key,
we were
yeah.
watching.
That's the weirdest thing.
So that's the facsimile that came out recently.
I was gonna say, I thought that was. I was like, holy mint.
No,
edition.
wow,
What would you pay for that?
those colors. No, I wish mine looked like that.
That's number one. Yeah, that's number one.
But there's the actual number
Yeah,
one.
but still, got it at a good price because of the.
I got that years. I think that was like
never getting
2014.
Without this, what is it?
That's just ink marks.
From what?
I don't know.
Most likely a kid
What are you doing?
did something
An inkwell? What are you?
way back when.
Yeah,
Maybe he had an ink pen.
I got it for a good price. Our friend Jeff helped me
Mhm.
get this. I think 2014.
It's incredible.
I would love to actually upgrade that one day, but I don't need to spend that money right now.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Then Green Lantern 2. So the top one's a really nice copy, but the one behind it, this is what helped get me into Green Lantern. My love for Green Lantern came from my father. That was his copy from when he was
Really?
younger.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
From when he was a kid.
So number 2 came out probably Showcase 22 came out in 1959, so this might be 1960, 1961. So my dad was born in 54,
Love
so
that book right there.
if it came out in 1960, he would have been 6, 7 years
yeah.
old. So yeah,
That's a lot of love on this one. He
Yeah.
taped it.
yeah,
Spine back.
Read
taped
it
the
over
cover
and
back,
over again, probably.
and kept
Yeah.
it too, which is
Yeah.
a rarity for that. Most
Yeah.
people in that generation didn't keep their comic
No, they
and
gave
passed it down to you.
throw 'em out.
That is
Yeah.
fantastic. So in value
Yeah.
wise, this is worth much more than this one.
yeah. And, it's his copy. Obviously, like
Wow.
don't even take that out of the bag and board
Yeah.
because it'll fall apart. But it's my dad's copy, and he gifted me the remainder of his Green Lantern comics
that's
like
fantastic.
10, 15 years
That's
ago.
awesome.
At that point too, I already started collecting the Silver Age because I was collecting Green Lantern as a
Right.
kid. When I was a little kid, besides like Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters, Green Lantern and Spider-Man were my characters and still are. So like the 90s series, I would continue to buy that. Well, I'll get to the issue that made me start the Silver Age. That's actually a great looking copy. That's the first Sinestro.
Really?
Yeah.
What's that sell for normally? What's
That? What does it sell for now?
yeah?
In the shape it's in, probably like 700. I got a
It's not
really
even on
good
the
deal on
cover, so
that,
you
but
don't-
it's a real, like, you look at the spine, that's
Yeah, that's
really nice copy.
really nice copy. First Sinestro.
This I brought because it's my only single
Neil
issue
Adams.
that's signed by Denny and Neil Adams.
Nice. That's a legendary run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
do.
you know, it's funny, if you look up, it didn't sell well
No.
at the time.
No, it got
Yeah.
canceled.
It's funny, and now it's like a legendary.
Yeah.
That's why
yeah.
they put them together because neither one's doing well.
Yeah.
And then they end up canceling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's considered a legendary
Yeah.
comic series. Yeah.
Which I have the trade for that entire run. I have that signed by both of them.
Yeah.
But this was the last issue. Green Lantern got canceled right after this issue.
This is the last issue.
Yeah, the two of them then started doing Green Lantern, Green Arrow backup stories in the Flash. So you have all
Yep,
those
I have all
issues.
those.
That lasted for years.
And
And
you have to buy all of those too.
I have all of them. But then, eventually they were like, let's bring Green Lantern back. So issue 90 was, the return. It was still Green Lantern, Green Arrow, but like nowadays you wouldn't know that years passed from 89 till 90. And it was still the two of them for a bit.
It always amazes me with this, that as a kid, that Mego figures. So I'm a big Mego.
Yeah,
And we talk about all the time. That Green Arrow gets a Mego figure. Green Lantern never does.
it makes no sense.
Makes no. And same with Flash.
Yeah.
The Flash never gets one, but Shazam does.
Yeah,
So, who's the more popular? Why? Like Shazam makes sense because Shazam has his own show at the time. Flash is on the downcline.
yeah,
Green Arrow, there's no reason he should have a figure, and Green Lantern.
yeah. And when you think of Green Lantern, you would think he's like
Of
one of the
course.
top
Of
10
course.
DC characters.
Green Arrow not, but
Yeah.
he gets a figure.
Especially Hal Jordan. Like, obviously because of the cartoon, a lot of people think of Jon Stewart first. The movies, Hal Jordan's now a laughingstock because the Ryan Reynolds movie didn't do well, even though I thought he was great. I don't like the movie too much, even though I'm happy that a Green Lantern movie
If there was
exists.
one, there'll be another one.
But I think Ryan Reynolds was actually the best part next to Mark Strong. So this is... I don't buy graded books.
know you
I
don't,
have
so I'm surprised
two.
to see two.
I have two with me because they're the only two graded books I've ever bought. So this is the reason for one of them. So I've had that one for quite some time. Green Lantern 16, first appearance of Star Sapphire. Not in the best of shape, so I wanted one in better shape. So why not just get a graded one that I know is,
But you won't crack it.
no. But it's a 7.0 and that's just hard. It's a hard book to find,
This is a Gardner Fox story.
especially a higher grade.
I knew he was involved somehow.
What's the first appearance of Abin Sur?
Abin Sur is Showcase 22.
And then I didn't even realize they had backup stories of him in Green Lanterns at one point.
But he was dead.
No, so what was the? I didn't realize that.
Well, I guess they're just doing backup stories to be like, this is how he was when he was alive.
Before the other one.
Yeah.
You see, I don't collect. I don't have any.
So
That's
that's
a good one.
this is the end of my Green Lantern that I brought with me. So the first appearance of Guy Gardner is the reason why I started collecting
Oh yeah.
the Silver Age.
Look how different it looks.
Randomly, my stepbrother just got that for me off eBay one day.
Nice.
And he's like, I thought of you. I know you don't have this. Here you go. It was not like a birthday or a holiday. It was just like,
Were you the redheaded stepchild? Redheaded stepchild on there?
that's amazing. But I was just like, wow, I have the first appearance of Guy Gardner. You know what I should do? Get the whole
Get
series.
all of them. Yeah.
So it took years, but I did it. I have every
Stewart,
issue of Green Lantern from 1959 till now. Every single
appearance.
cover series. There's still a couple appearances I still need. But the first Jon Stewart,
First John Stewart.
which this is now sentimental to me because working at Comic Book Jones, sometimes I would have customers who would sell me books. Especially if people had Green Lantern. A good Comic Book Jones friend, Ken Valentine, I bought this from him as well as a bunch of other Green Lanterns. And Unfortunately, Ken actually passed like a week ago.
Really?
Yeah,
What happened?
I'm not sure.
Mm.
But
So now it means more to
that was his copy. Yeah. And it just means a lot that I, have it. But now, so when I finished Green Lantern, as, lots of comic
I
book
know.
collectors do, you don't stop.
you. You can't.
Yeah. So what did I
Wait, you mean there's
do?
no end to this?
No. Baby? I don't know.
Not in the foreseeable future. I can't see because you know me. We've
Yeah.
done a bunch of. I just keep starting new runs. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, you start them in the middle of
in the
other
middle
runs
of
too.
the runs. I'll
Yeah.
be like not done with like new Warriors right now. I'm collecting. I don't know why. There's no real reason to collect new Warriors. I'm collecting new
But
Warriors right now.
just keep on
Why not?
adding.
Mhm.
But you were smart with Dazzler because all of a sudden, with all the Taylor Swift
I know.
talk, Dazzler
But I've had that
prices?
done. I finished that a while ago.
Yeah. But like perfect timing.
Yeah, I know.
Did you see the short I did on the aha moment?
No.
Well, I was watching the Kansas City Chiefs game.
Okay.
She did, Swift's there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I look and I see her and she's with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh
Reynolds,
Jackman.
yeah.
And I go,
Yes.
Wait a second.
Wait.
She's gonna be in the if she
Yeah.
pops up in the Deadpool movie. That's
As
it's funny.
Dazzler?
We talked to my daughter's a big
Mhm.
Swift fans. They went to see the concert and the movies. If she's in that, it's gonna be hard to get tickets to go see it when it opens.
oh yeah,
Oh,
They
yeah.
will sell out.
oh yeah.
opening
Yeah.
weekend
It'd be the
just
smartest
because-
thing they could possibly
Yeah.
do.
100%.
Even if
They
she
make
did it
so
for
much money.
2 minutes,
Yeah.
it would be the smartest thing they
Right.
could do. Just to and then right now they're looking for that bump, right? Because
Yeah.
everything's on the decline.
Yeah.
The Marvels did not do well. They put her in there.
But she would be perfect.
Perfect.
She,
She's
like,
perfect for that role.
besides just fan casting, she would be
She's
perfect.
She's
Yeah.
perfect. for that role.
Yeah. As long
And
as
then
she
they,
can act.
they give her her own
Yeah.
movie.
She's been in a couple movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been in small roles,
Yeah.
but
They give her her
some
own
like teen
movie.
movies.
Okay.
It revitalizes.
Well, it
Yeah.
definitely brings up. I think Deadpool will do better and do well anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
But because that's one movie that I will see in the movies. And
Yeah.
Usually
Yeah.
I wait for Disney Plus.
I do not.
Yeah.
Did
But
you see Marvel yet? No.
I think this coming weekend
So
I'm going
we're
to.
going. I'm going Wednesday. A
Yeah.
week. This coming Wednesday.
I've seen every MCU movie in theaters, so I don't want to break
Me
the
too,
streak.
except one.
I broke that already. I missed it
Black.
already.
The last Black Panther I didn't see in the movies.
Okay.
I watched
I
it.
saw it in the second to last week.
Yeah.
Like
I
they already announced the date for Disney Plus for
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever. I'm like, I have to go.
Yeah.
I went
have
after
the
working a
time.
Wednesday to see it.
I just didn't have the time for it.
Yeah.
So what I was saying before is you don't stop,
You don't never stop.
and this is what happened. So after
No.
finishing Green Lantern,
He's got to get all the appearances too, so you have
Bes-
to buy the
Here we
first
go.
appearance of the Justice League,
yep.
Brave and the Bold, number 28.
But I also
I have to buy this
have
at some point, too. I have to buy this at some point too.
29 and 30.
So again, same thing. Anthology series. Brave and the Bold introduces a lot of characters also
Mhm.
during the early Silver Age. This is the first team that leads to the Fantastic Four and leads to
So, most teams.
Marvel.
Avengers.
Yeah. Yeah, because
They
it
come
does
first.
predate.
They come first, and then it's their right. They do the 3 Brave and the Bold, and then they do
Mhm.
their first.
This is really interesting because that cover looks like the
I need
JSA
all
cover,
these.
the famous JSA.
Yeah,
cover
it's at the
with
table.
The table. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I got a Justice League 1.
These are the ones he may not leave it because I need these. I need these for Flash appearances.
Yeah, which is what we joked is like,
You have
crap,
to- you have
we
to-
need
which is-
like most
listen,
of Justice League.
You know how Gladiator and that Flash never did backup stories in one of the other
Yeah.
characters, like
See,
you have to do with him.
That's what.
Because
you
he was
think.
popular.
Again, he wasn't as popular.
But the Flash visits Batman. Green Lantern doesn't.
That's true.
I don't need any Batmans for Green Lantern.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I have a couple. I think I have all the appearances in there, and he pops up in Superman.
Yeah. Green Lantern and Superman went more than ever with Batman.
He pops up in a Lois Lane.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But I have the entire run of Justice League.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nice.
all
And
of them, all the runs, all the different Justice League.
so I have the entire Silver Age run. I don't
Yes.
have every run. I am now playing with the 90s one a
I
bit.
just
I
finished
kind of
that.
like that one.
Yeah.
I just finished that. Remember we were at the show?
Yep.
I found the
Mhm.
last issue I needed.
I have
I'm actually reading that right now.
I have every issue that has like Guy Gardner on the cover, like the prominent ones.
Mm-hmm.
So Europe and international.
Yeah.
America and international.
Any of the
So just-
Hal Jordan appearances though in those titles, I have all of them.
Okay.
But I might still just like fill the gaps and do
Just
all
in
of
case you
it.
didn't know.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know, the person wrote number 1 on there.
On the cover. Well, this is priceless.
This is
Let me
priceless,
write on
but
it.
it wasn't priceless at that time. It was some kid.
And started to write a name and
And
scribbled it
scribbled it
out. It's like,
out.
wait a minute, you don't write on
Wait.
comics.
And that's why you bought it, because it was much cheaper than it should have been.
Yes.
Because some idiot kid wrote #1 and was gonna write his name on
It
there.
looks like it says hey.
But there isn't like
Mhm.
I have a couple of comics in my collection like that where a person wrote his name, and I'm always like, I wish I could find
Who they are.
this
Yeah.
person and be like, why did you do that? Like, why would you do something like
Oh,
that?
I thought you said you'd find that person and like mail it to
Mail
them
it to
and be like, hey, you remember
Hey,
this?
you remember this? That's what you should do. Try to find.
But you have to
Hey,
wonder like how
Like
old
an
they
anom-
are if they're
yeah,
still
like an
around.
anomaly.
You're right.
thing,
They're like,
yeah.
this comes out when? This is 1960. What?
61.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
the person was probably 10 years old then. They could
Yeah,
still
they
be alive.
definitely
They could
still
still
be
be alive.
Yeah.
My mom was born in 51. She's still around.
I have
I'm sorry, my dad was born in 51. My mom was born in 50.
have an issue of Green
In case you're
Lantern
watching.
that somebody in sloppy script wrote their name Stuart. And it's like, who are you, Stuart?
Stuart, where are Stuart? Is this yours? Did you? I would love to find the person who
Yeah.
wrote their name on it, or who defaced it in some way. Drew I have one where someone drew like a picture. I'm like, what?
I'm just glad that they didn't write their name in the
In the
checkerboard.
That would have been good.
So I have one book left on me.
One
Okay.
book, the final
Oh, this is the
book.
Yeah.
I don't
last
even. I
saved
can't
to
even
last?
imagine. He's got Action Comics #1.
No, I wish.
Oh my
I
God.
can't- Wait, so this. Is
I
this
have
like,
this is a book that you should own. I think you own it.
I do
I'm trying
not.
to see if you own it.
I do not.
Because besides Justice League after
I
first
saw
Green
it.
Lantern,
I don't. I have the one before it. Oh no, that's 106.
106.
What
I
is
have
it?
106.
Oh.
So I
So
also
he starts at 105. His Barry Allen Flash starts at 105,
yeah, because Barry's first is Showcase 4, then 8, 13, and 14.
and
So
then
105 is the 5th appearance. This is the 6th
and
appearance.
Brian, why is it 105 and not 1?
Because they do not change the numbering to save on postage.
There you go.
That was the same thing with Vault of Horror and all that stuff.
I wish they continued that.
So they could do, because back then if you change the name, you have to pay postage
You have to
again.
pay
You
a new
have
postage
the
thing,
new
yeah.
postage to the post office,
Mhm.
and if you just keep it as it originally was, you don't have to pay
Yeah.
the change. So that's why you see a lot of comics continue, numbers don't match
They don't
up.
match up, right?
Like Flash 105 should not be 105. It should be
Okay.
Flash #1.
Right.
Should be, yeah, of
But
course.
the original Golden Age one ends at 104. It apparently costs a significant amount of money to do the postage,
hmm
Well, because they had a
And
lot
you don't-
more mail subscribers. You know,
and you
'Cause
don't have
people
to
lived-
pay. You save a
people
lot
lived
of
in-
money by doing it, and you
people
see
who
that with
lived
a
in
lot
little
of series.
little towns out west they didn't have a comics.
Yeah.
They didn't have
There's
a
no
newsstand,
newstand or anything. There's
yeah,
no
anything
comic
like that,
shops
so
at
they
that
had to
time.
order it through the mail.
Yeah.
This is first appearance of Pied Piper.
Yes.
That's it, right?
Is it Grot? It's Grot also.
So I don't have this one
Oh,
then.
and another reason. I'm sorry.
I don't have this one.
One more reason that the postage thing was important. Lots of GIs overseas
Got them.
got comics.
Yeah.
And that was another thing. So it's like be mailing them to
This is
Germany
one of the
or-
3 that I'm missing.
What are the other two?
123 and Wally West 110.
Okay.
Mm.
I just haven't seen them in the right price. I bought 105. I paid $400 for it years ago at a shop in Scranton, New Jersey, Scranton, Pennsylvania. Just the guy happened to have it, and he actually had the Guy Gardner too on the wall.
So I actually brought this because for the main Silver Age run, besides the 4 showcases, all I'm missing now is 105.
I have 105.
Yeah.
Is it hanging up? No.
So
It's in the frame somewhere.
this is what happens. You finish one Silver Age series, and
And
you
105 is hard to find now.
Look at how melancholy he is right now.
I know.
well that's the book I'm not going home with.
This is the one you want to go with. This Grot is a, and I've looked at this many times at shows. I just can't find it I can't pay. My rule with this was I can't pay more than I paid for 105.
But you also got a huge steal on 105.
I got
Yeah.
105 for a steal, but I just
Yeah.
mentally I can't. I'll pay more at some point for one of the showcases, and I'll try to get them down from high to low. But I can't pay more for any of the ones that I need.
Well, this was my main goal book for this year. I got this year.
What'd you pay for it?
What you paid for what you're
400.
describing?
400.
What
Yeah,
you
I
paid for your
400
105?
mine. That's not bad.
Yeah.
And it probably would have been cheaper if it wasn't graded.
Actually, at the show I went to, there were only 2 people that had a Flash 106, and the other one was also in poor shape, and it wasn't graded. And I actually just liked the look
And
of
how
this
much
one
did
better.
he want for the ungraded one?
That one $450, I believe. He probably would have done $400 also, but it's like At least this is
I
protected.
was going to ask you what would be the likelihood of even finding one ungraded. But
It's hard. I was surprised to see
It's
one.
hard nowadays. Even like 105, he's not going to find a 105 ungraded.
Probably not.
Because if you have a 105, it would be stupid not to get it graded.
Yeah.
ungraded, yeah.
That's why I have this graded, because I have 2 books graded. The Star Sapphire is because of the condition.
And
This is because, it's hard to find. You're
I
right.
keep mine in a frame.
And
So-
that's how it is with so many older books too, of
Yeah.
finding them not graded. Like the fact that I have Brave and the Bold 28, which should not leave the bag and board. It's brittle, but I have it.
The first appearance of Poison Ivy, I can't believe you don't have
Graded.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the back rail too.
Yeah. Maybe one
Yeah,
day.
you should get those graded.
Maybe one day I'll change my mind.
The other significance of Chris is if I ever die, my family is supposed to call him,
Oh.
and you have to help them sell comics.
Okay.
Because who
Oh.
else?
Is this? Did you read it, Will? Is this?
Who
Is this
else-
real?
Who else could do it? I told them who else could do it if I was to die. Who else could accurately price these without screwing them?
Yeah. Well, I'm honored. I hope that's not, for a very,
hope
very,
not
very, very,
forever.
very long time.
Your expertise aside, which is much greater than mine, he also just implied that I'd screw him over.
Oh, these are cool. I have no
I am
idea.
actually,
$5
It was
each.
not that you would screw me over. I don't think you have the knowledge of
I
pricing
definitely-
as
I
Chris
definitely do not.
because I
No,
have a lot of.
definitely do
I
not.
also have a lot of
Yeah.
autographs in there too. I have a lot of stuff, flash
Right.
stuff signed, and I have
Yeah.
a lot of like some of the statues and stuff are rarer than other ones.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to the figures and such, I would have to do research.
But
Comics.
the comics.
I mean, I would
know-
still need to do research for
I know
comics.
you'd be able to flip some of them around. Like there's some rarer ones. Yeah.
Just looking around at everything too. It's like this is a lot of stuff.
It's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
You get a percentage.
Well, we as we all get older, you always get the question of like, oh, what are you going to do with your
Exactly.
collection? And it's like I don't
I
know.
always say when I retire, my plan is to read them. That's
hope so.
going to be like I had a friend.
Didn't you figure out recently how long it would take you to read them?
Yeah. If I read one a day, it would take me something like what did I say?
Something like 30
30
years.
something years. I read one a day.
Well, do you have a general idea of how many comics you own?
Yeah, I have it on CLZ. So
Okay.
I own it's like 12,000 now.
I was going to ask, are you allowed to say it out loud?
12,000. No, it's like listen.
My wives don't watch this.
Do you not? I mean, she comes down here to do laundry. Do you not see the immenseness of this? I mean,
Yeah.
and now I even had to expand. There's boxes on the bottom now. You'll see it one day on the.
But maybe she just doesn't think that they're actually all completely
No,
filled,
she
which
knows.
they are.
Filled, I mean, to the brim. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do next year.
Yeah.
Because that's why I have a lot recent comic purchases at conventions are just sitting in
Yeah.
piles because I don't know where I'm putting them.
I get it.
I need a better idea.
Half my collection's in storage.
Wait for a kid to move out and get home. Take their room over.
Can you imagine someday we'll be here and every room but the bedroom is just going to be comics?
The bed is suddenly so
Actually,
much higher because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Should I buy a
boxes.
second house and just have all my stuff in a second house?
Yes.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
apparently-
Yes. Buy your neighbor's house,
Yeah, and that'll be
And
your
that would
comic
the-
house.
Yeah.
My comic house.
paint
The
it
comic
red.
house.
Thanks
Paint it
for
red
joining
and
us,
yellow.
man.
Absolutely.
This was fantastic. Absolutely
Yes.
a great to see you more
Chris.
than anything
Yes,
else.
it was wonderful.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me,
Thanks
guys.
for watching. Stop before the end. If you would like to have your collection showcased on our show, email us at
collectorsconfessions@gmail.com.
you can become famous like Christopher just did.
Yes.
So just email us and we will make arrangements to come see your collection.
Looking forward to it.
Back to the show. You know how we end our shows?
No.
Go ahead, Brian.
Love what you collect?
Collect what you love. We'll see you next time. We have our own catchphrase.
I love it.